At the sound of the tone, the official We Like Drinking time will be 5 o'clock. Commence consumption.
This week on episode 332 of the We Like Drinking podcast, we'll be discussing beer, drinking beer, and selling beer with Chris Weiss of Halftime Beverages. So crack open that beer, uncork that wine, and let's get drinking! Oh, boys, ladies and gentlemen, it's going to be an all beer episode. Oh, man, folks, Jeff Solomon is already letting the man bun out. So, you know, we're in for one heck of an episode. So let me just say cheers, my podcast drinking friends, and welcome to Happy Hour 332 of your favorite award-winning topical beer and wine education podcast focusing on fun. You know how much we like to have it. So make sure you never miss another episode of our brand of drinking fun by visiting welikedrinking.com/subscribe.
Subscribe.
All right. We've got some beers to crack-a-lack into. So let's find out who we're drinking with tonight and what they've got. We've got our usual panel members. We have our California Sustainable Wine Growing Ambassador and recovering wine blogger, Jeff Solomon.
Hey, shalom, everyone.
Our commercial brewer and snake wrangler, John Ruyak.
Hey, you know, it's tough to wrangle snakes when they're flattened like a bacon strip on the road. Be careful out there, folks.
And I am your host and certified specialist of wine, Jeff Eccles. Now, our guest tonight comes to us from Halftime Beverages, which is a beer and bottle shop located in New York State that focuses on craft beer and cider. They opened their first store in 2002 and their second in 2013. RateBeer.com has rated them as the best bottle shop in New York and one of the top 3 beer shops in the world. Please help us welcome from Halftime Beverages, Chris Weiss. Welcome to the show, Chris.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for taking time to join us at 10:30 on a Tuesday night for you. How you doing tonight?
I'm doing great. I feel, as alive as I'm going to be at 10:30. I'm just waking up. This is what time us New Yorkers really get going.
This is when the party starts. I like for those of you watching the show, it looks like there's a pretty epic beer bottle display going on off Chris's back shoulder.
A little bit. It's nothing to write home about. I got some home brews up there that are probably 7 years old at this point.
Nice.
Don't open them. They will.
I'm not liable.
They'll be all over the place.
You can find Halftime Beverages on their website at halftimebeverage.com and check out their Instagram feed at halftimebev. Okay.
Yeah, Cody. Glad the Maple Leafs lost. Anyway.
Game 7 after being up 3-1.
I was just gonna say those 7-year home brews. Like I think it's time to crack it open. As a wise man once said, when it comes to beers, quit coveting and start drinking them.
I have one that I brewed for a college project when I was doing my undergrad at University of Phoenix. I brewed it in 2003. There's one bottle left. I will not open it.
I am sure it's hella zesty, bro.
I'm sure it would be just like it'd be like champagne in the locker room, man. It'd just be all over the place. I'm kind of surprised it hasn't blown off all by itself in the Albuquerque heat.
Do you store it in your garage?
It's in my dining room.
Okay. All right, Chris. So again, welcome to the show. Guys, let's find out what everybody's drinking. Chris, I know you've got something up there. What's in your glass tonight?
I am sipping on a little dry hopped Kolsch from one of my favorite breweries right now, Von Trapp, up in Vermont.
Nice.
And this is actually a collab with another Vermont brewery called Upper Pass, and also a collab apparently with the Ski Mountain Stowe. I don't know exactly how that works, but their name is on there.
The Von Trapp family went to Stowe, Vermont, and they had a place there. They used to have a hotel there when they
they still brew out of there.
When they still stopped singing "Coming Over the Alps" in World War II, they actually.
Yeah, a lot of people.
I've driven by their place a long time ago.
When the
Nice.
singing stopped, the beer quality went downhill a little bit, but it's still quite good. So.
Okay.
A dry hopped Kolsch. That sounds good.
Yeah.
John, you guys do anything like that?
We actually talked about doing a Kolsch style ale and dry hopping it with Home Alone, which gives it kind of a strawberry watermelon type of profile. So we haven't done it yet, but it's could be in our future. Yes.
Did he just say that hop was called Home Alone?
I believe
Home
so.
Alone. Yes.
Carl Malone?
No. What's that irritating little blonde kid who, just
Home Alone.
Yeah,
Home
but
Alone.
there's literally like Home Alone hops.
Home Hullmelon. Home Alone. It's German.
Whole
And it's got
melon.
watermelon flavors. Go figure. I don't, how they came up with that, I don't know.
Took me a couple seconds to figure out what you were talking about too.
It's fucking weird. Hops names are weird, man.
Oh goodness. Is that the only one you're drinking tonight?
Hey, who knows where the night will go?
That's true. Sounds fantastic. John.
I have, I got a 6-pack. Thank you very much, Chris. And I requested stouts. And I gave one each to my assistant brewers for doing a good job a couple of weeks ago, and they enjoyed those. I had one the other day, and I can't remember the name of it. Maybe it was Snowbank or something like that. It was a toasted almond vanilla porter. It was really tasty. Tonight, I've got Beer Geeks Breakfast, which is a coffee porter from Pipeworks in is it Pipeworks? In
McKellar, right?
Chicago. Yeah, okay, McKellar. Okay.
That's
Does
on
it
the
say Pipeworks as well?
No, it's McKellar. That's right. Brewery
I was
San
gonna
Diego.
say I saw like the weird like Picasso looking dude on the
Oh,
front.
maybe
That's
the
my color.
Pipeworks is the milk stout I still have left in the fridge out in the
Nice.
kitchen.
Have you
So
had a
this one,
chance?
yeah, it's a coffee stout. So
Nice. Ooh, that looks good. How is it?
here's the thing.
Oh.
No, it's a good beer. It is very good, and you can taste the coffee. But I'm going through an unfortunate. I had COVID. If Chris doesn't know that. And for the last 6 months, I've not been able to taste or smell anything sulfur-ish, which is good for me because I fart a lot. But but I haven't been able to taste any. But my sulfur receptors are coming back, and now that's all I taste. So it's kind of irritating. So there's 2 things I'm tasting right now: yeast, because I'm doing a lot of tasting of unfinished beers in the bigger brewery, and lager yeasts retain a fair amount of sulfur, and so the beer tastes good, but everything tastes like sulfur and yeast right now.
But your taste is
my salad with Caesar dressing on it tasted like sulfur and yeast. The French fries I got at Wendy's tasted like sulfur and yeast. It's very irritating.
that would be very irritating.
It's irritating. Yeah.
Stubbs watching live. P.S. He says Von Trapp is a great place to visit.
But finished beers are fine. But anyway. Ooh, boy. Ooh, the coffee nose. I get it now. It's good. Very good.
Nice. Solomon.
Recently I could only taste farts too. No, so I actually I got and Chris, thank you to you and a halftime for sending out. Like I got a mixed sixer. It was the juice box sixer that I got. Right now, I was starting pre-gaming with the Mast Landing Brewing Company out of where are they?
I believe Portland, Maine. Or
Yeah,
somewhere
that
in
seems
Maine.
right. Yeah. So, Mast Landing, this is their Louder Now double dry hopped India Pale Ale. I chose this one because I know John got like a new preamp, and so he was getting all fired up, and so I saw these amplifiers and I got that. Just a nice, juicy, hazy. Could be mistaken for a on looks, could be mistaken for a mimosa, but this is a delicious IPA. And then for later on, I did get, here's this like Pink Boots collaboration.
Oh, nice.
With all like beautiful, powerful women on the front. This is the Kings County Brewers Collective out of Brooklyn, New York. They're Dynamite Daredevils IPA, and this is a Pink Boots brew. So I'm looking forward to getting into that as well. But my God, I was just so impressed on like, because beer is so regional, you know, and I'm so used to seeing like even though I think craft breweries are getting really good at like spicing things up with like different labels and stuff like that, but like seeing like breweries that I never see in the store and I rarely have access to being delivered to me, like it's just really been kind of a treat to explore things on the other side of the continental US. So that was kind of,
that's an amazing part of it, is stuff that we just flat out can't get that we're able to get through this through halftime. Take your pick, listeners. Either I didn't get my shipment or I drank it all before the show. I'll let you guys decide what happened. I went with the hazy IPAs as well. I've got one from Melvin, the Cloudy 5000 hazy almond IPA, and I've got the Side Hustle Haze from Almanac Beer Company. Jeff Solomon, you'll love this one. Fresh, unfiltered, and dank. So I'll be getting in that one a little bit later. I know you like the dank. You're muted, Jeff Solomon, so your insults fall on deaf ears.
I was actually gonna say, who doesn't love a dank brew?
That's right. All right. So we've gotten through a little bit of the beer. I think it's time for us to wake up the brain cells as we get ready to knock them down with
wine, beer, spirit, or pop culture reference. This is where I am going to give the crew, as well as those of y'all watching live, as you ought to do, every Tuesday night around 7:30-ish Pacific at welikedrinking.com/show. Or, if you're subscribing and you ding that notification bell on YouTube, we'll probably jump right into your feed when we go live. I'm going to give this crew a term, and they're going to tell me, do they think this is a wine term, a beer term, a spirit term, or some sort of pop culture reference? And all y'all watching live, throwing those in the comments. I swear our contestants live on the show aren't going to look at those right now. The term this week is Dusties. Dusties. Is that a wine, beer, spirit, or pop culture reference? John Ruyak.
Well, I'm going to do everybody a favor and ask you, how the heck do you spell that?
Dusties is spelled Dusties, and the D is capitalized when that word is put at the beginning of a sentence.
Okay. So it isn't a Y apostrophe S. So it's not a place. So it couldn't be particularly a pop culture reference. Dusties. I'm going to say this is I'm going to say this is a kind of a pop culture reference wine term for wine bottles that are stored way back in the corner someplace, and they've been there for decades.
Wow. Okay. John Ruyak says that this is a, well, you started to say pop culture, but then you said it was a wine.
It's a wine term.
It's a wine that's tucked away in the back and just kind of forgot. Those are the Dusties, right? Yeah. Chris, what do you think Dusties is in reference to?
I'm feeling pretty confident on this one. This is a beer slang term for sure. And maybe it applies in the same way that John was talking about with wine, but I've got some Dusties in my linen closet right now that are just aging to perfection as I intended them to 8 years ago when I put them there and subsequently forgot about them. But They're Dusties. I mean, that's just what it's called. It's beer lingo. I don't know if this is the answer you're looking for, but this is what a lot of beer nerds out there refer to their collection, as it were, of
Interesting.
beers.
Okay, so Chris, throwing the entire beer geek community under the bus, says that this is a beer term. Jeff Eccles, Dusties.
John went Dusties with the wine, collecting dust. Chris has gone with the beer side, collecting dust. I guess I'll have to go pop culture reference then, just to complete the trifecta. And what can this be? This is going to be a negative term for an actor or actress that's kind of been around the block too long. They've kind of outrun they can't play the young people anymore. So they call them Dusties.
Oh, okay. Like Sylvester Stallone. Like it'd be crazy for him to be
wet.
Sylvester Stallone is definitely a Dusty.
He's a Dusty. Okay. So this is so fun because Eccles, to cover his bases, says that this is a pop culture reference.
It's like
John
betting
Ruyak,
$1 on The Price is Right.
It is kind of like betting $1. It's a little bit like that. John Ruyak says it's a wine term. Chris is saying that this is a beer term.
100%.
If I was a betting guy, I'd be putting my money on Chris.
And yet, according to Aaron Goldfarb's 2015 article entitled Bar Slang 101, as published on First We Feast, behind the bar, an odd bottle of liqueur that is never ordered or used in any drinks ever, also known as a turd, is referred to as a Dusty. It's a spirit term! Woo! Dusties.
We should get points for saying it has something to do with dust on the bottle, at least.
This was so great that John and Chris were totally right on with the definition, just not my train of thought.
Yeah.
Oh, so you changed the rules as you went along.
No. I'm telling you, this was intended to be a spirit term the whole time. Yeah.
I think the top two on the screen right now. I do think they get
points.
That's really cute. Jeff Eccles with all the clout of a Monday morning sports talk radio caller. I feel like the New York Jets should have won the game.
What was that, Jeff?
I feel.
Yeah. See, I do have the power. I can mute you whenever you want.
That's going to go over great on the audio only version.
I think it will. I really think it will. All right, Chris, we've monopolized your time enough with the random just nonsense that we start the show off with. Let's get to you and what you came here to talk about. So halftime beverages, been open since 2002, expanded in 2013, now shipping fantastic beer all over the U.S. Was the shipping beer part of the initial plan when the place opened up, or has been something that's evolved over time?
So the story of halftime is long and twisted, but know that shipping beer wasn't really a thing back in the early 2000s. And when we started doing it, we were, I believe, the first. I wasn't there at the time personally, but I think we were the first in the country to attempt that kind of thing. But previous to that, we were just a beer store, a larger than average beer store, you might say. And the way that we became larger than average is kind of interesting in that the owner and founder of the company, Alan Daniels, wanted to get his hands on all these beers for the store that he knew about and had tasted maybe, friends told him about it and in his travels, but you just couldn't get them back in 2002. They weren't in distribution. So he literally became a distributor. He applied for that license. And so they were a retailer and a distributor, which, yeah, you're kind of overstepping the 3-tier system, the dreaded tier system, but so be it. You got to like forge your own path, I guess. And
If
so that,
if Budweiser can do it, why can't somebody else?
exactly. and that's how we kind of started growing the selection of beers. And then the next logical step was, okay, well, we have all this, and we've made all this great beer and this vast selection available to our local audience. In at the time, there was only the one store in the Hudson Valley, but there's people out in California, you guys, and Washington State, and the middle of the country that will never get a chance to try any of these beers. So how can we help out those people? And of course, there's an audience for that. Everyone's always trying to get their hands on beers that's not available in their local market. So they started shipping beers, and that was really successful. I mean, pretty much had a monopoly on it. There's no one else doing it at the time, like I said. A lot of things happened in between then and now. The shipping ecosystem became a lot more convoluted legally and otherwise. And there were ups and downs. And what ended up happening is basically that it went dormant for a couple of years, and we took the opportunity to relaunch our web store bigger and better than ever before about 1.5 years ago. And we've been doing that ever since.
Awesome. So I'm curious. You guys were probably one of the first one. I mean, wine shipment was going on well before that, and beer, it was like never able to do it. Can you, at a high level, because I'm sure we could spend the next 2 hours going down this rabbit hole, but how has it been navigating the nightmare that is shipping alcohol in the U.S.?
First of all, how infuriating is it that the wine folks get to do pretty much whatever they want? I read, I don't know if you guys, not to go off on a tangent, but there's a great Garrett Oliver book called, I believe, The Brewmaster's Table. And the first chapter, he talks about the way that wine came to be considered the superior alcohol beverage. And basically it comes down to the fact that France conquered England at one point in history, and all the rich noblemen were drinking wine, and all the people who were the conquered people were the Englishmen drinking beer. So fast forward to 2020, and you can ship wine UPS anywhere, and us beer folks have to come up with our own shipping network, essentially.
I think that's because it's the wineries that are doing the shipping, and so they're able to skip that. They're able to kind of break that three-tier system, and craft beer, it lagged behind the winemakers when it came about, and it wouldn't make sense for a craft brewer to be able to ship nationally. They just don't produce enough product, right? So you guys are forging through that nightmare to allow a retailer to be able to ship, right?
Yeah, I think that's it, to some degree, for sure. I think breweries would love to be able to ship to more states themselves too, but there's a lot of legal barriers in their way. I think it's actually harder for them to ship out than it is for us to reach a certain.
That's crazy.
Regions.
That's crazy. Anyway, sorry.
Yeah. I'm sorry. Eccles gets all fired up when it comes to shipping things across state lines. Have you considered
state commerce?
Have you considered just like drilling a hole straight down into the earth, and then just kind of doing like one of the old the bank drive-through tellers where it's like a vacuum that just shoot, and then it just like stuff just ends up in different states? You're like, I don't know how it got there.
We just quoted that out. Yeah, we did get a quote for the bank tunnel system. It was a little bit outside our price range, but We looked into it.
Isn't that what Elon Musk is doing in LA? He's just going to be shooting big cans of beer through underground.
I think here in Colorado too.
Or yeah, rocket ship straight up, wait for the Earth to turn, and then it comes down. You're like, sorry, the Earth moved.
That's what Starlink is, right? It's just a can delivery system by a satellite, right? Anyway, John, did you have a question for Chris?
Well, I was just curious about how the original store kind of grew. I mean, was it basically all the engineers and people working at IBM, living in Poughkeepsie and Newburgh, and just driving into the shop and picking up all these cool things?
That would check out, like tech nerds and beer nerds. I think there's a lot of overlap there.
Yeah, I've got some.
Sure.
I got some friends from Poughkeepsie and Newburgh from way back in the day. Shoot, I had somewhere to go after that, but I don't remember what it was. Next, I'll remember in a second. I'm old and I'm tired and busy.
You're on it, John. I love you. So, I guess what I would ask is this, Chris. Just you mentioned how it's it was kind of Halftime was one of the first to ship beer, and then kind of went on hiatus, and then kind of came back. I know that there's always challenges in terms of commerce, like shipping things over state lines. I guess what I'm wondering is it a challenge to maybe like, I don't know if rebranding is the right word, but essentially to like say, yeah, we used to do this thing, we didn't for a while, but now we're back. Is it a challenge to re-implement that? Like, did you have to like bring some people back into the fold with that?
I think the expectation was that we were just going to turn it on again, and the entire customer base would be exactly where we left them, just waiting. Oh, you're back! Great. I'll just here's
my money.
Confirm on my order, and we'll be back in business as if nothing had changed.
Take my money. Take my money.
That was the hope. But in fact, yeah, like you suggest, it was pretty much starting from scratch in terms of building a brand around this new business venture and getting the word out to the world that has changed so much in every year in beer. Is like reinvents the entire industry over again. So yeah, it's definitely been a fun challenge to get the word out about this whole thing that we're doing. But I think the emphasis is on fun,
Hey, we like to have that.
Beer's supposed to be fun. I totally get that. And that's got to be so. How could anybody, especially having such a wide selection of product to choose from, how could you not have fun and not be excited? Just with what you get to work with every single day. I'm wondering, with you mentioned like the changing landscape of beers and breweries, are you getting people making like kind of odd requests? I guess maybe they're not even odd, but are there certain trends in beer where you're like, God, okay, now we're really gonna have to put together like a fresh smoothie IPA pack because the people demand it? Like, are things like that happening? And are there requests that people have made? You're like, we're not doing this. We are not doing cake batter IPAs.
I hear what you're saying, and there's a lot of push and pull in beer these days over stuff like that. But my instinct and our instinct has been to embrace it. We love all these wacky tangents that beer gets into. Don't get me wrong. I'm sitting here drinking a dry hopped Kolsch. I love the classics, and that's probably where I reach for my after work beverage. But I also like trying all the new wacky things that people are doing. And yeah, we have to keep up with the times. And one of the things that I'm proudest of right now, you guys were talking about the variety boxes that we shipped out to you. But we have among the different options there on our website, there's stuff like a pastry stout box. You guys are probably familiar with pastry stouts. Over the last couple of years, that's become just an accepted term
Yeah.
to refer to stouts that essentially are basically like dessert in a bottle. You have all these adjuncts like peanut butter and chocolate and cinnamon and sometimes literal donuts and ice cream. And I think a lot of breweries and industry veterans kind of recoiled in horror when this started coming about. John, I see you nodding there.
John's
I-
face right now.
I don't know if you remember, but we played hockey with a guy, and do you remember George?
Yes, I do.
And he brought me a can of maple bacon donut beer one time.
Punch him in
That
the face.
sounds amazing.
Did you
Is that
did you
Voodoo
throat
from Rogue?
did you throat punch him?
Yeah, I think it was from somewhere in Oregon. Yeah.
So Chris, since you brought up the variety pack and the gift pack, which I think is a great option that you guys have on your website at halftimebeverage.com. Check it out. How often do you rotate through those gift and variety packs?
So basically, when somebody orders a variety pack from us, those beers in the pack are not set in advance. It's always going to be based on what the coolest and freshest options we have in the store are. And so you're basically putting your faith in our staff, and I would encourage you to do so. Everyone there is super knowledgeable and stoked on beer. And so when you order that pastry stout box, you have a guy literally walking through the aisles of our store saying, "Oh, we just got this pastry stout in last week. He would love that. Oh, here's another one we just got in with cinnamon donuts." And
So it's not really curated. It's just kind of like this random thing where someone goes through and kind of.
Oh
picks
no,
stuff.
that's nano curation, dude.
it's
And
yes.
my follow-up, I think the next logical question that everybody in the chat is trying to type, but I'm just too quick, chat. Chris, do people have an option where it's like they get this hand-picked, nano-curated box, John, and they go, I want this exact same person to pick out my next pack. Like, could I make a request like, hey,
that's a
Chris
cool
did a
idea.
great job. Can he do my next one? Because he knows what I want.
wow, that's a great idea. And I also like your nano curation term. I might have to steal that for our.
Oh, Chris, please,
that's
Chris,
what I do.
please don't encourage him.
Empower him. Please don't empower him.
Follow me at Jeff is Rad on Instagram for more advice. And if you like what you hear, that's Jeff is Rad on Top Shots. Send me your moments, everybody.
So, Chris, I mean, I know you're more into fulfillment, but is in the technical issues with doing that, and you guys aren't importers, correct?
No, we get beer from around the world.
But you're working with Merchant du Vin and
I see what you're
Gambrinus
saying.
and those kind
Right.
of people. Are you reaching out to them to try to bring you a different stuff? I mean, here, help us spread or increase our variety. Or are you guys reaching out to people like that to kind of find the interesting stuff that's happening in other parts of the world?
Yeah, I mean, our buyer does a great job at that. He's been doing it for us for years, and it's one of my best friends, Adam, actually. And he's always talking to the distributors and what we can do to bring in cooler stuff from around the world and all that. We just got in a beer, if you can call it a beer, I think you can, in the last couple of weeks that is kind of lighting some corners of the beer world on fire. And that's a Korean beer called Maki, I believe. It's based on and inspired by Korean rice wine. And it tastes like fruity, and it almost tastes like a puree consistency. But it also tastes like winey in a way. So yeah, I'd like to think we have our finger on the pulse of what's happening internationally as well, and are always trying to broaden our horizons there.
I just gotta know then, like when is like the meat lovers pack coming out with like oyster stouts and smoked whale testicles? Are we gonna go down that route yet?
Wait, you're familiar with the whale testicle beer, right?
We built our brand on smoked
Okay.
whale testicles, my man.
Okay.
Wait,
I wasn't
Can
sure
you
if you
guys
were just
get your hand-
throwing that out there.
Did
you
you
guys
have
get
it,
it?
Chris? You guys have it?
We don't have that one. And in
Come
fact,
on.
believe me, we've been searching high and low. We've wasted too much time on it already. It's our literal white whale.
I need nano curated smoked whale testicle beer.
All right.
Chris, you just don't
Back to the
know.
lab.
For the first 3 years of our podcast, someone, myself or Solomon, would reference smoked whale testicle beer every episode for like 200 episodes straight.
It was the bane of my existence for 3 years.
I don't see any way around it, really.
I don't understand how like people could think of that as being like animal cruelty. Like one testicle takes care of the whole year's batch, and they're going away with the other one. So you know,
Chris,
I don't know, man. I'm with you. I'm on
Well,
the
I
hunt.
think it's more the fact that it's smoked with sheep dung. It is more the thing.
oh, so it's not vegan because it uses.
the comments are lighting up about SWT right now. I'm having flashbacks. I'm having some PTSD moments here right
Been a
now.
while.
Wait, but you think that goes in the meat lover box, though? I don't want to glaze over that fact.
Yeah, I don't know what else you would call that one.
I guess, yeah, it's literal meat.
Meat lovers.
Chris,
We
work
once
on that
interviewed
one.
a guy that did like a pepperoni pizza beer. We could throw that one in there.
All right.
I've lost this episode so fully. Chris, as far as like the U.S., if I'm looking at the U.S. map, where is a majority of the beer that you're bringing in coming from?
It's definitely hyper local to us for the
Awesome.
most part. I'd say at least 50% of what we offer in store and online are from tri-state area, Massachusetts, Maine, and of those breweries, we're getting like the cream of their crop. So there's some like heavy hitters in those areas. You might have heard of like Other Half, Equilibrium, Grim Artisan Ales out of Brooklyn.
Yeah.
And so we're able to, because of our proximity to these breweries and our relationships with them that we built over years, we're able to get the same stuff that they're people are waiting in line in the cold, in the rain.
Or and so the next question, where are you? How many states are you able to ship to?
So we ship to 30 states right now. We're always trying to work on new states, and people are always asking us, "Oh, can you ship to me?" And we're working on it. We're getting there.
Right.
But,
Are the majority of the bigger states taken care of, like California, Texas, Florida, Colorado, obviously, New Mexico?
Yes, all the states you just mentioned, we do cover. Yeah, I think all the big ones for the most part.
I think you said Portland or Washington State,
Yeah,
Oregon. So okay.
we even shipped to Alaska, which
I was going to say for sure that was going to be one you didn't. Swayze, if you're listening, chance to go get back to your home roots and get some beer from back home.
And I was actually pretty stoked as I was just as I really started checking out these beers over the last couple of days, and then I went and looked at your website is slick AF, and I have to say, above anything else, I think there are so many businesses that neglect not just like an online presence can be seen in a lot of different ways, and your Instagram feed is legit. But I swear to you, like so many times, like you might end up at a business and their actual literal website sucks, and they might be right down the street, and I might never go. But just checking out halftimebeverages.com, Like I was just stoked on the layout there. And I was like, you know, here I am on this podcast. Maybe it was a special thing that they were able to send it my way, but like really quickly, I was able to put in my zip code and see like, yeah, it's coming to me. So I think, you know, those of y'all wondering like, am I really that special? Type in your zip code. If they deliver, you're special. And if not, sorry, like do better. Live in a better place. That's
move
what
to
I
a
say.
better state. That's right.
That's right.
Again,
You're
you
the
can check that
problem.
out. You can check that out at halftimebeverage.com. So I do want to get back to the actual store, because this is a unique store in and of itself, in that you sell no wine, you sell no spirits. It's strictly a beer and cider shop. Why was that decision made? And obviously it was a great decision, but do you know why that was the why they left with that idea?
Oh, no. We love to sell wine and spirits, but in New York State, you can't do it under the same roof. It has to be beer and cider only. So that is not our decision. And believe me, I'd love to be able to offer meads in particular, which is
you
there's a
can't?
lot of no. You know what, we were able to for a while, and then New York made the decision that meads actually counted as wine.
Yeah, it's legally wine here in New Mexico too.
Isn't that crazy? Like just we were talking to our buddy Billy Belts, who makes mead in San Diego, and I think he was saying for him in California, based on the strength of his mead, I think he has the option of it being classified as wine or beer, and like whether or not he's allowed to have bubbles in it, like is a whole nother like ball game.
Yeah.
Like
we sell session meads, which sounds like a what's the word?
sounds like a cannabis infused weed. That's what it sounds like.
Sounds like an oxymoron is what I was gonna say, because everyone knows meads as being like these 18%, like, or 14, pretty much the same as wine, like heavy hitting.
That is a session mead for John.
John Ruriak has been known to
the
pound
meads
session
we're making
wines
are
by the way.
9%.
And
And let me tell you, mead is yeah, it gets you fucked up pretty quick. It does.
Content.
You know what's not fucked up? This like beautiful head and this beautiful pour on this Dynamite Daredevils IPA from Kings County Brewers Collective out of Brooklyn, New York. This is their Pink Boots brew. This is fucking legitimate.
Jeff Solomon is the biggest hazy eye backer you've ever met. So, Chris, if you ever want to ship out some hazies, Jeff Solomon is your bit.
Chris, we need some background here. I have nothing against hazies at all. But what I do have against is when I go to a restaurant that their beer list, you can't get an IPA that's not hazy. I'm just saying, every once in a while, I want a clear beer. Is that weird?
And you're in California, right?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that's the West Coast IPA. Is it dead out there on the West Coast?
It's this East Coast bias, this Northeast Coast bias has just like blown across the U.S. like a nor'easter. That's a thing, right? A nor'easter. That's what it is. No, yeah, the hazy tidal wave hit here about 3 years ago, and I don't think it's stopping anytime soon.
Not going anywhere anytime soon.
Albuquerque has resisted the haze. There's only a couple places that make hazy IPAs in Albuquerque, and we may actually knuckle under one of these days.
I think
yes.
I think West Coast is making a comeback though. I think I feel the momentum slowly building. We get comments all the time, when are you guys going to offer a West Coast variety box? And honestly, it's hard for us to even have enough inventory to put together to offer that on a regular basis, because everyone's making hazies. But
yeah,
I'm starting to see it build. I think I'm ready for it.
John,
Good.
you guys should talk after the show. You should ship to New York, John.
Well, we have to get FDA. We're only selling
Yeah.
for carry out. We're not doing the whole
Alright.
FDA thing yet.
Rocket
Okay.
ship. You can buy one of those like model rockets at the toy store for $10.
Take it down to Spaceport America and have
Mm-hmm.
Richard Branson take it up into space and then land somewhere else.
Yeah.
Earth turn
so-
underneath
Sir
it.
Richard Branson, whoever
So
that.
Chris, people, I know by now people are interested. Is there a monthly club or anything like that they can sign up if they want to get a beer of the month or cider of the month or anything like that from you guys?
Oh, there absolutely is. We have a bunch of different clubs. Hazy IPA Club. We've got the Whale Testicle Beer Club. I'm sorry, the Meat Lovers
You
Club.
just get
Right.
one heavy shipment a month.
That's right. 24 bottles of Whale Testicle Beer.
They just roll it. You save on shipping because you just roll it. And it just...
They're round. Nice. Yeah, currently we offer more than a couple of different club options. And what we like about it currently is that you can set your specified time that you would like to sign up for. So say you're getting this as a gift, Father's Day is around the corner. You don't want to be on the hook necessarily for beer for life for dad. You know, you like him a lot, but he's not that cool.
He's only like 4 months worth, right?
Exactly. Yeah. So you can go 3-month subscription, 6-month subscription. If you really like him a lot, you can do 12-month subscription. And yeah, every different variety of beer that you can think of. There's even a cider version. So,
so is it you sign up for, a juicy, hazy, a stout, or can you just be like, whatever, dude, ship the old man whatever you want?
Yeah, we try and have some fun with those clubs too. So we've got like the Around the World Club, and that'll just be a collection of beers from all over the world. We've got the Made in the USA Club, and that's going to be all beers, made in the USA. Yeah, so we try and keep it creative and fun. There's a lot of different options, so
Awesome.
something for everybody.
Plenty of stuff for people to choose from. You can do clubs, beer club, cider club, gift packs, variety packs, all kinds of stuff that you can check out at halftimebeverage.com. John, any other questions?
No. Yes, I do, but we'd be here for
No,
another
go
hour.
for it.
Ask your question, John. Jeez.
So, I mean, do you guys have do you have a way of pulling things in and getting them out quickly? Is it kind of like, hey, we got this, we're going to get this out in the 6-packs or the mix packs that we're going, so that we move through this stuff and we're just sending out the freshest stuff? I mean, it's an operational question, I guess.
Yeah.
But
so as a brewer, I sense a tinge of anxiety about shelf life. Yeah, exactly.
Is your warehouse refrigerated, or do people wearing mittens when they go in and pick these things off the shelves and stuff?
The whole place is an igloo. You have to no, but we do have what I think might be the largest cooler system in the country. I mean, I've never seen one bigger, but there's rows and rows of coolers. So we try and keep as much of it in the coolers as possible. And the stuff that we can't even fit in the coolers, there's so much turnover in the store just from in-person traffic combined with the website. And most of the good stuff that we get, we're only getting a case or two of it anyway. It's in and out in like a day or two. Oh yeah. I mean,
that's cool. That's cool, because it's like, it's the randomness, I guess, of what people are going to be getting.
All the beers that we sent you guys that are in your variety packs, that was one of 24 cans that we got for the most part.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
And
question answered. Yeah. Wow. That's cool.
Sometimes, we'd like to have more than 24 cans, but at the same time, it's cool, a brewery like KCBC, Jeff, that you were just drinking. They make so many great beers, and they send us all of them. So it's cool to have the variety. We have like 10 different KCBC beers at one time on our shelf, and all with those amazing labels. They're like one of my favorite breweries just for the artwork. So
That is cool. I wonder, like, do some people like request, like, I don't necessarily care so much how the beer tastes, but can you just give me some really cool labels for my collection? Like, is that, do you like when people make requests online, like, do they come down the pipe towards you, Chris? Like, do you see stuff like that?
I try and stay out of the customer service arena, but sometimes, I'll pick up the phone and talk to some crazy guy who wants, I'm gonna order the variety pack, but give me 8 of this one beer, and the remaining 4 you can go to town. Like, oh, okay, not really a variety pack at that point, but you do you.
I think the vision of what the site is for Chris and the vision of what the site is for Solomon are very different. Like Solomon just has this like idea that he could send them a paragraph and they're gonna go out and pick out the beers based on his comment section.
I've written a sonnet, and I would like you to find beers to pair with it.
If people order in haiku, do they get an extra beer or anything like that?
It's actually free if you order in haiku.
You get
Here's
that
the
on the
thing.
DL, but
it evens out. You get a 7-pack, then a 5-pack.
That's
We
right.
should have gone to Chris when we had our Mexican craft lager episode. We should have gone to Chris when we did our Japanese craft beer episode.
we have a whole Mexican aisle in the store called South of the Border.
God. All right. Chris, we're gonna have to talk after the show about how we can become a sponsor, how we can make something work here for all our future beer episodes. I think.
Absolutely.
Not to mention the fact that we do those beers, and we do those beers once every 2 months. So if we had plenty of lead time, we could get some fancy schmancy stuff.
And not to mention, all our listeners could join in with us.
Yeah, and if our listeners want to help us build like a dope collection of beers for a special like Meat Lovers episode, you can donate at welikedrinking.com/pledge for as little as $1 a month.
Chris, is there anything in we warned you before the show, it is a meandering, nonsensical interview section. Is there anything that we didn't touch on that you think you should get across, or have we covered all the bases and 37 more things?
Yeah, we've covered a lot, huh? I think we're just trying to get the word out there that, we may be known as this big store in New York, but it still very much is just a family business, and guys like me there who are super enthusiastic about beer, putting together every single package by hand. And I think sometimes that gets lost in the mix. Jeff, you talk about our website. I'm glad you enjoyed it and thought it was cool and all that. But, sometimes people think we're bigger than we are. We're just a little shop in New York, maybe bigger than a little, but we're still the little guy at heart, and we just want to make everybody happy and send out boxes that we would be stoked to land on our porch.
For sure. And a lot of our listeners honestly are west of the Mississippi and Florida. We have a lot of listeners in Florida. So this is I think that was one of the things I was most stoked about when I learned about you guys, is the opportunity to get these beers and these styles of beers that just I can't get in Colorado. Michigan, sure. Iowa is about as far east. Chicago, maybe some, is about as far east as I can get in the stuff that I pick up locally. And this just gives me such an opportunity to get the Northeast area delivered to my door. I love it.
Yeah, that's what we're here for, man.
All right. Jeff, any last questions?
Yeah, I'm sorry. I can't let you leave this interview without some hard-hitting questions. I see that Halftime sells merch, and I just need to know whether or not your koozies have been double-blind tested for cool retention.
They've been double top secret tested in all the most vigorous labs. Yes. It will keep your beer cold for 37 days.
Is it true that your koozies keep beer cold for half the time as a normal koozie?
For half the
I mean,
time.
it's halftime beverages. I mean,
This feels like a trick question. No.
Okay, good.
These
All right, you
allegations are
passed.
false.
anything else, Jeff?
How many beer league softball teams do you sponsor in the local area?
Too many.
And are they all? You can level with me. Are they all assholes?
They're all dicks, man.
Okay,
Like,
good.
I don't get it. What is
Yeah,
with
fuck
these?
those guys.
Dude, what is it about softball, man?
They're all fucking shitheads, man.
You guys are hockey players, I heard, right?
Yeah.
I don't
None of
play.
us.
I don't
Eccles
play
and
that
I, yeah.
shit.
Oh, okay.
John
Actually,
is a hockey
I
player.
actually used to play some beer league softball, but when you're standing 5'8" and you're pitching and linebackers are nailing line drives that you can hear as they whiz back by your ear, you tend to not like those folks.
I'm with
Chris,
you.
what position do you play in softball league?
Oh no, I was saying
Yeah.
I'm a hockey guy.
Oh, you are.
Throw me on a baseball field and I'm in the outfield staring at the sky,
Yes.
losing my mind.
Yeah,
Throw-
what position do you play? Left out?
Put you on the blue line
Pretty
low and you're
much.
good to go. All right. All right. Okay. Well, if we're talking about sports,
Of all
obviously
things.
it's
Last call.
Last call.
last call. Time to clean house and lock the doors. You know what we do here, folks? We're looking for a little bit of help from you. Jeff Solomon, if the folks want to follow us on the social media platforms, how can they do so?
Whew, I don't know if I can do this. Okay. We are on Twitter. I mean, we exist there. I don't know if we do anything there. And that's at We Like Drinking 1. That's the numeral 1. You can find us being hella interactive on the Insta, and that's just at We Like Drinking. Come find us on Facebook, though. You can like our page. That's cool. But what we really want to see is you become a part of, and this is what's so important, our community in our private group on Facebook known as The Tavern. If you're on Facebook, just look up We Like Drinking The Tavern, or if you want to challenge yourself, go to the little URL box at the top of your browser and type in http://welikedrinking.com/tavern, or is it The Tavern? I don't even know. But
Tavern.
anyways, come find us. We will gladly accept you into the fold. But don't get too crazy on those Friday nights when we do those roll coasts. Some of that stuff gets kind of scandalous.
It does a little bit.
The pictures that are there, you shouldn't even look at the whatever you do, especially like my bosses, people that respect me. Please don't come to welikedrinking.com/the tavern and see what goes on Friday nights. I don't want any of this getting out.
It's insane. It's absolute insanity.
What happens next will blow your mind.
Every time number 17 will blow your mind. We did get a question from the Peanut Gallery, Chris. JVB wants to know if you have a favorite funny named beer.
Sure.
The smoked whale testicles. I mean,
I would say that this brewery Evil Twin in Queens pretty much all their beers have hilarious names.
They do have some good ones.
There's one in particular recently that it's just kind of like meta comedy, but I just found hilarious working in the industry. And it's called Guys, I've been really getting back into IPAs. It's just like said no one ever, right? Because like when did IPAs didn't go out of style, really? I don't know.
I did have a good friend and listener of mine in the last couple of weeks ask when the IPA thing was going to die. I was like,
no one
it's not.
Actually, I did Evil Twin way back in the day, and they made 2 different Russian Imperial Stouts that you had to mix together.
Ooh.
Oh, yin and yang you're talking about.
Yeah, that was really cool.
That is cool. John Ruyak, if the folks have some thoughts on the show and they want to leave a review, where can they go to do so?
Well, you could search us up on Apple Podcast and leave a big fat 5-star review. And if you like this episode, 5, not 6 stars. We only accept 5. But if you like this show in particular, share it with a friend. And we picked up another 5-star review this week.
I didn't check. I'll be honest. I'll defer to you.
The notes say we did.
Sweet.
I'm just reading the shit you told me to read, dude.
This is what happens when I go out of order.
John, please don't read the show notes. We all stopped doing that a long time ago.
way back machine.
Guys, in 2019, someone left us a review.
Awesome.
And if you've done all that and you're looking to do a little bit more, consider becoming an Uber supporter of the show by visiting welikedrinking.com/pledge to find out more about how, for as little as $1 a month, you can help keep this beer, wine, and spirit train rolling down the tracks. You can also find the show notes for this episode with all the links to the stories or mentions we had at welikedrinking.com/episodes. Chris, one last time, where can the folks find you guys on the social media platforms?
We are on Instagram at halftimebev, and Facebook as well. Facebook.com/halftimebev.
Is Instagram probably the best place for them to go?
Instagram is definitely the best place because we tend to be very visually minded here. We have a lot of fun with the images there. They're colorful, they're splashy. That's the place, and we're super active there. So give us a follow.
Yep. Agreed. So check them out there and visit halftimebeverage.com if you want to go place yourself an order. But we've reached the time where I get to say, okay, panel, let's take one last trip around this table and get some final thoughts before we shut off the lights. John Ruyak.
So yes, it is the best time of the year because hockey playoffs they're the best. But let's have another sports-minded thing. I hope Naomi Osaka is doing okay, and I hope she sets a trend that sports figures aren't forced to do press conferences. It's just stupid anyway. I don't, you know what? That's dumb. I don't really care about what they have to say after the fact. They either won or they lost, and it's on them, not me.
I am not a role model. One of the best commercials ever. Jeff Solomon.
Yeah. Sorry, microphone stuff. Yeah, and I would just say, and John, thank you for bringing that up. And I think in general, like, you know, we need to just can we just humanize the world? You know, we've been stuck in these boxes long enough to where I think sometimes we forget that there's people on the other end, and a lot of folks are dealing with stuff, right? I've had a heavy heart recently because the big elephant in the room that's been in the room of the beverage industry in general, and we've talked about it with this reckoning in wine, but right now, like, there's been a big groundswell in craft beer, you know, to the point where there's folks that I know that have been implicated in some horrible, horrible things. And the reality is, I think that as consumers, the nice thing about beer is, you know, if we know that people that make good beer are bad people, we can find other places to get beer, and we don't have to support people that just really don't belong in this industry. And so I would just hope like people are listening to the stuff. There's so many things that happen where we talk about like breweries and just other establishments and wineries where it's like, yeah, people have known for a long time that so-and-so is somebody that you shouldn't really be around. Well, how about before it gets to this crescendo, when you hear those rumblings, it's okay to like not dismiss it and just go to other places where you can respect the folks that are putting things in your glasses. Yeah, it's been a heavy week. Everybody take care of each other and support each other, and don't let's not make excuses for misogynistic assholes in our industry. They can all fuck off.
Well said, Jeff. Chris, any final thoughts before we let you get out of here?
Oh man, you guys went deep on those final thoughts.
Right. You got all fucking meta world peace in here. I'm sorry.
I'm into it. I mean, I agree with everything that Jeff just said, and I just want to echo that. It's pretty horrific to hear what's been going on in our industry, which is just supposed to be, you know, fun and that's the beauty of craft beer. It's fun, whereas I would say some of the other industries in alcohol don't have that like element of just freewheeling, colorful expressiveness that beer has. So, you know, it's just a shame that there's a toxicity that's being injected in certain corners of the industry, but I'm liking the way that a lot of breweries have handled it in terms of responding and making substantive change. So I think we're on the right path.
On the right path, and everybody remember that women can brew fucking amazing beer. They really do. We've had several of them on the show. You know, yeah. Don't be a dick. I mean, it all comes back to that. Don't be an asshole to people out there. So sorry we went so deep there, Chris, on this closeout.
Needs to be said.
But we really do appreciate you taking the time to join us. We appreciate you taking the time to send us these amazing beers. You know, folks, West Coast, Mid Coast, South. This is an opportunity for you to get some of that hella good northeastern beer that you have craved for so long. So check out halftimebeverage.com and see what you can get your hands on. And Chris, thank you again for taking time to join us. We really appreciate it.
Thanks for having me, guys. It's been a blast.
And with that, I'll say thanks again for joining us at the We Like Drinking podcast.
Well